This video was sponsored by Enhance, Elbilmek, a bit route planner, Kempower and bilkomponenter. Alright, we're now at Minnesota getting ready for the remaining range test. So yeah, we're gonna go, let me see, if I click here, yes, there, okay. We're gonna go this loop and back again, drive the 120 test, and probably also do the same with the 90 test because I'm actually running out of time. It's Friday now, 1:30, so the roads are packed. Okay, so I go here, you can also reset on this screen, but I think I'm gonna do it here. You can press and hold, and just take to make sure I reset the right. Okay, this is after charging. We reset trip 1, okay? There, off we go. So today, okay, it's Friday, like I mentioned, but it's 4th of July, so the holiday traffic has started. So the road here are way more packed than usual. So normally when I do this run in a weekday, it will be quite empty and I can get consistent result. Now I'm not sure about it. So just have to try to cruise at 120 kilometers per hour GPS speed on the first loop now. All right, on the road. So first we do the 120 test. I cruise at 122 on the speedo to match 120 GPS speed. It's nice and warm over here, 21 degrees Celsius. So consumption 234. Yeah, that's with 1.7% underreporting. So it's actually 1.7% lower than that. Should be on par with what I was guessing in the wet run. So we'll see. So not much to report right now. We just have to check here. Yeah, we done well over half the loop, so we don't have to drive too far to get the good measurement. Or the result was 242 watt-hour per kilometer before correction. That's not too bad. I think it's roughly on par with what I guessed, right? Okay, let's try 90 test then. Man, this happens all the time. Trying to enable LCC. Not there, you have to push hard. Okay, if you don't push hard enough, let me see, there. Then this happens. No, come on. The way that the steering wheel go. No. You see, then try this and just. No, I think you have to. There. I did too fast. I have to do it like an old man, a bit slower. So all good. So now I guess we just cruise the same stretch as before. We should have it in the history here. Stong. So I think I just simply don't have enough time to do the full loop all the way there. Yeah, unfortunately I won't be able to check the coasting test. And this car is equipped with an in-house Zeekr sound system. How good is it? Well, let's find out. I'm playing a playlist from Spotify. Okay, the first thing I noticed when I started playing music here is that there is lack of bass, deep bass. Does he have a subwoofer at all? I mean, for such an awesome car in general, overall, it's just weird that the sound system is lacking so much. Okay, you can go to the equalizer and boost the bass a little bit, and then it sounds okay-ish, but it's not really as good as the high-end systems. And then if you crank up the volume, it will clip. Now it doesn't clip that much because I haven't modified yeah. Okay, next. But I mean, it has some mid tones and low-ish, but not the lowest. So it's lacking something like below, something below 80 hertz maybe. And also, yeah, it happens all the time that when I listen to music and I do something, usually change lane or actually deactivate autopilot or LCC, then that happens. So just going to overtake a truck now. And then we go back here. Yeah, and then, you know, just silences. Okay, all good. But it's, I mean, it still sounds okay, yeah. It has that clarity that some of the high-end systems have. It's just a lack of bass that ruins it. Okay, what about here, Runaway? What about that voice again? Let's try. So his voice isn't pleasant to listen to. It's not over crisp. I like it, and also good details in general. So if I give it score, I'm not sure. I'm debating between 5 or 6 out of 10 only because of lack of bass. So yeah. Let's see. I wonder if there's one more I could play. Yeah, this maybe. Just to give you guys more sample about what the sound system sounds like, yeah. Yeah. I cancel LCC and then whoop. Yeah. Okay, whatever, okay. All good. Okay, this number was 178 watt-hour per kilometer. Well, kind of high, I mean, medium, not super efficient, yeah. But I need to highlight something. This 16-inch horizontal screen is brilliant. It has been well designed in the user interface here. Tesla Model 3 and Model Y, they use 15.4 inch. So this is even bigger, and the bigger, the better. Also seems that the resolution is quite high, which is always good. But okay, so you know, nowadays I'm driving the NIO EL8, which is the flagship, or one of the flagships of NIO, but it's getting kind of old-ish, right? And there's actually coming a new EL8 on the NT3 platform. But the EL8's screen is vertical, and it's roughly from here, maybe, you know, a lot smaller. You have less space, and that means less screen space for available always on button. So here, for example, compared to Polestar, I didn't like Polestar 3 at all, because you can't just change the temperature with a single tap. You had to always enter the temperature thing, and then you can change the temperature. And if you want to change some HVAC things, you go in here to change the other HVAC setting. Well, that was clumsy, right? But here you can do that, you can do this, but versus the EL8, by the way, yeah, so the EL8, if you want to enter the seat ventilation, you have to go click here, and then there was a little tab between if you want to go to fragrance or some of the seat ventilation stuff. But here you have a direct button to go to seat comfort, and you have ventilation, heating, you have massage. You can actually ventilate and heat at the same time. Like Mercedes, most other cars, they can't allow you to do that. You have to choose between ventilation and heating. And you also have the seat adjustment here. It's actually brilliant to gather all the seat stuff in one place. But not only that, but you have the 360 camera here, hotkey, you have the car stuff here. And now you have the apps available here, the music, lots of available space here at the bottom. But not only that, but here on the side menu here, you can, for example, automate. You have the automatic parking here. Quick key. We have this. It's like key climate on. Yeah. And then you also have massage hotkey, right? Or you can adjust the head-up display quite quickly. Or, for example, fold the mirror. No, this is adjusting. Yeah, sorry. This is adjusting mirrors or head-up display or steering wheel, and you can have a hotkey directly. This is super useful. Instead of, for example, in Tesla, you have to go to the car, and then if you're in something else, you have to swipe up to the one that has something about the, adjustment, right? And here you can also go to this dot, and you can customize it and choose what you want here in the like a side menu, right? And you can choose between some of these. However, I wonder why they didn't add more features. Like, I would like to have the seat ventilation in one of these available. But I mean, it's a start, they can update it. But this is brilliant that you have all this stuff available here. But however, Neo has a side swipe. This doesn't have a side swipe menu. The side swipe will also add lots of things, but it requires a swipe, right? It has a top swipe where you can customize some here, but some of these are locked, but you can also customize some of this also in the top drop down. And this is brilliant because by default, these are on and you can just disable them before every time you drive, yeah. So, I mean, overall, I love the way it has been designed here, but the one small minus is that there are so many settings in here, and I just missed that search function. You can find something. Okay, before we go home, I'm gonna test some truck charger here. This is Alpitronic 400 kilowatt, but I just want to see how many kilowatt I can get here. It says, yeah, 630, same as the Ioniq at Tangen. But do we get the same speed here? I have let me check here. I have 17%, kind of high-ish, 18%. Let me check here. Because I heard that when NAF tested on this charger, NAF/motor, they got over 400, 410. What was it? What is the car doing? Click, 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 click. Eh? What kind of sounds are those? Okay, but no, unfortunately we don't see any higher speed here than we got earlier. Okay, but I want to try also supercharger, which is 400 volt. Will we then, what kind of speed do we get then? It goes so fast. Simply amazing. And if we put this car in sport mode, this thing goes like a freaking rocket. We're now at the V4 supercharger, and it seems that the maximum speed here is only 65 kilowatts. I'm not sure if maybe the limit is 100 amp. But also, okay, so it reports 65 kilowatt here. And then Tesla app reports 67, so there's a 2 kilowatt loss here. I'm not sure how much that is in percent, but it's transforming 400 volts to about 670 volts. So there's some losses, but not that bad actually. But interesting. So if you go outside, you see, or hear rather, that I'm not sure if you can pick that sound. I normally don't hear this high frequency sound when I'm charging other places. I think the microphone might be able to pick it. There is some high frequency noise coming from this wheel, roughly. And when I move away, the sound becomes lower. And then I come on this side, then I have the same noise here. I wonder if that's the rear drive unit. But also here, front drive unit. So I wonder if it's pulling something like the Koreans, that they use the drive unit's inverter to convert or do the voltage conversion. I'm not sure. But okay, anyway, I think I'm done with the test. Just want to test, see how it works. And usually high frequency noise is blocked by window or something, right? So we can try to close the door. See? Or, I mean, not see, but hear. You hear it? Now it's gone. But the test today shows that this Zeekr 7X is the thirstiest of them all compared to similar priced car and similar sized car, right? But however, remember that this is the performance version. It has 639 horsepower and goes 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds. So we should compare it against a Model Y Uniper Performance, but it's not out yet, or maybe the next gen G6, or well, I don't know, ID4 GTX. I didn't test that. So then maybe those other cars will also be thirstier. But despite the comparison, because we get the biggest battery here, at least I measured 96 kilowatt hour, this 7X yields the best range, and it's not even the rear wheel drive, you know? So, wow, I mean, you can get 100 kilowatt hour, you know, if you want to get a German car with 100 kilowatt hour, like a Q6, you have to pay almost twice as much, especially if you want this performance. It has to be an SQ6, but I think even this 7X is faster than the SQ6. It's just mind-blowing that you get this like fat e-tron comfort and soundproofing and even range performance, and great infotainment and all the features here for that price. I'm just blown away. This is so good car for the money, and you have to choose between this Zeekr 7X and Uniper. I mean, Uniper is good, they have better software, but it just doesn't charge that fast. And then, well, the Xpeng, at least the previous gen, okay, maybe it's unfair to compare there, but it didn't feel that premium. I remember when I tested the G6 versus the C-Line 7, and C-Line felt more like this car, but the Zeekr X just feels even more premium. It's so strange that I feel like I'm driving a more expensive BMW iX, for example, in driving feel and everything, but it's just cheaper or not that expensive, yeah. And then, don't even mention the Volkswagen ID4. There's so much plastic, fantastic there, and tiny instrument screen and tiny main screen, and I feel like maybe in this comparison the ID4 or the Volkswagen or maybe also Audi Q4 is what you get the less or the least of the money, or the less bang for the bucks, yeah. But here is just so nice. Okay, anyway, I think you got my point. Hands down, Zeekr 7X is the best that I like in this class. So yeah, 2 thumbs up, man. And this is even coming from Bjørn. Oh yeah, maybe I should mention EL7. EL6, I mean, yeah, same there, but EL6 is getting kind of old, so yeah, Zeekr. All right, anyway, that's gonna be for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching, and talk to you later.